job yet this morning, get this load finished up, but it'll be fine. Wanted to talk about a little bit of an unhappy little nugget that I came across yesterday evening reviewing some emails, because one advantage coupled with disadvantage with being an independent motor carrier is you suddenly end up on a lot of email lists for different things, people trying to spam you with their offers to help your business, trying to bring you loads, trying to get you to sell your MC, and then you get the news aggregate emails from different organizations that you either asked for or did not ask for. And there's my radar telling me, hey, I'm too close to this guy. It's like, shut up, I know. And so I got one of those news aggregate emails yesterday, and it was talking about there's a proposal percolating its way through the federal government, Department of Transportation, I think, that will require the installation of some sort of device onto all trucks at some point in the future to better enable the tracking and recording of pre-trip inspections as well as driver information. Now, if you want to get the nitty-gritty on this, I do suggest you search it up for yourself to make sure that you are adequately informed on the idea and the notion. Now, obviously, this has not yet become a requirement, a regulatory requirement, because there's no idea what sort of device this would actually be that would be required, what the cost would be on a per truck basis, and also entirely, there's not been any sort of either limitation or requirement set forth on what sort of data is collected through this device. Now, obviously, it's just more of the same stupidity from the government. Oh, people are getting hurt. We gotta make things safer because, people who are driving these trucks, they're having these big bad wrecks and people are getting hurt. They're dying, they're getting maimed, and we gotta make these trucks safer. So we gotta do something utterly stupid to try to make things safer that really won't help at all. It'll just, give us more data to look at until we can say that we're doing a good job. Which is about my opinion on the whole situation. It's just reading even the synopsized snapshot of the idea struck me as this is just stupid. It's the same stupid idea of mandating speed limiters and a nationwide speed limit for commercial trucks. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's stupid. But these are people who sit behind desks, and all they do is they think up stupid ideas. They don't have any truck drivers among them at these bureaucratic ensembles. So they have no real idea about what operating one of these vehicles entails. All they see are what they want to see, which is an excuse to regulate and tax and collect fees and money without really understanding what sort of a negative impact this stupid idea could have on the industry. Now, to be fair, the devil's advocate point is that for those folks out there who do skip their pre-trips or only do a very short pre-trip inspection, this could weed them out of the industry, especially if there was some sort of fine or punishment levied for a shorter than 15-minute pre-trip, or drivers who just don't do pre-trips at all. But case in point, the last company I drove for as a leased on owner-operator, one of the safety managers who didn't last much longer after I came on board, he was there for a couple of months while I was there. He was a nice guy, but he was from California. And while he had lived in California, he had been a highway patrol officer for California. And yourself as on duty with your pre-trip inspection note in your on-duty status, okay, that's fine. But then you need to go and log into this other screen in Samsara to begin your actual pre-trip so that we can record how much time you spend in your DVIR section of Samsara. Now, for those of you who don't know how Samsara works, but you know how ELDs work, the Samsara DVIR system is either daily vehicle inspection report or digital vehicle inspection report. Either way you want to term it, you got to get in there every day to mark whatever flaws or issues you've got with your truck so they can be logged by safety and maintenance, and then the issue can be addressed. If it's an important issue where you can't even move, obviously you address it right away. But if you can push it down the road a little bit and drive to the service point, you do it that way. You just work it out with your dispatcher, your fleet maintenance, whatever, and then you get it done. No problem. But this guy had some strange notions because his complaint was that a lot of drivers weren't spending enough time in the DVIR screen because they were only tracking people on there for just long enough to actually file the report, take the appropriate daily photos of their trucks and trailers, submit those, and then go about their day. Which, to me, that's perfectly fine. But this guy had it twisted. This guy was like, no, this is a requirement of the DOT. You've got to do this in order to be in compliance. And it's like, no. The regulation is you must perform a 15-minute pre-trip inspection that must be logged. It doesn't say how it has to be logged, except that it must be logged on your daily hours of service. There must be a 15-minute pre-trip inspection wherein you sign off on certifying that the vehicle is safe to operate for that working day. But this guy was like, okay, well, this is how we knew this is how we would catch some guys, who weren't doing good pre-trips. So, we would check their logs and we check their time in their DVIR screens. And if they were giving us lip about some things, we'd check those DVIRs and then we'd find issues with them. So, okay, so you're looking for trouble with truckers who were just giving you some lip. So you went looking for trouble, hoping to find something to screw a truck driver over. Yeah, okay, you're one of those cops that none of us wants to deal with. Now, granted, a trucker who's got some lip for a cop, you're asking for trouble at that point, because there's three things you don't mess with on the roadways as a trucker. You don't mess with folks who prepare your food, you don't mess with the folks who fix your truck, and you don't mess with the folks who can put your truck out of service, namely the DOT officers who have to deal with at scale houses or during a traffic stop. It's always yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. But this idea percolating through the DOT right now for this potential future system is just more stupidity that likely is just being put forth to further regulate and throttle independent carriers or whatever the conspiracy theorists are going to spew. But that's also a very real problem because, all right, what kind of cost is it going to add to me as an independent motor carrier? What kind of regulatory hurdles am I going to have to jump through in order to be able to continue operating if this actually were to come through the pipeline at some point in the misty future? I have no idea. But these things are still in the comment period. They're still in the gestation period, shall we say. So there's still time for the bureaucrats to be implanted with the brainstem because they can't grow one themselves, obviously. Not this current administration. And as much as I hate being cynical or annoyed with the federal government, the older I get, the more I really would like for things to be wildly different. Like term limits, age limits, donation limits, all kinds of things that I think would be really nice for us to add. Won't happen unless, we exact same foolish logic that the gun control lobby is trying to apply to firearms. Because heavy commercial trucks and semi-automatic firearms have the exact same potential to do grievous bodily harm to other people if utilized improperly or without proper training or by someone with a nefarious intent. They're the exact same opportunity to do grievous bodily harm. Yes, that logic can also be applied to any motor vehicle, but commercial motor vehicles, like semi-automatic rifles of the very scary AR variety, are more spectacular in the damage they do because of the weight of the vehicle and the power behind it when it actually strikes another object or another vehicle or, God forbid, a person. So there's these beliefs percolating among these bureaucratic circles that if they over-regulate, if they increase regulation, if they mandate speed limiters, and if they do this pre-trip inspection data device, or whatever you want to call it, this tracking device, that there will be some means by which these horrible accidents can be avoided, can be reduced, can be restricted, can be contained. Much as in the same way that there's these beliefs that removing the AR platform rifle from public ownership would reduce gun violence. No, it would not, because the vast majority of gun violence is perpetrated by small arms, meaning handguns, pistols, and revolvers. Just as the amount of commercial vehicle traffic incidents in which grievous bodily injury or death results are fewer, I would say, than vehicle accidents involving motorcycles or four-wheeled vehicles. But because the AR platform semi-automatic rifle and an 18-wheeler semi-truck both are far more spectacular in the damage that they do, there is a desire to increase regulation of them. Well, the problem with cost you more because our shipping costs just went up, because their operating costs just went up. So in the end, who gets screwed? The American consumer. Because if our costs go up, that means consumer costs go up. And because of the absolutely blindingly brilliant financial and fiscal and economical policy we've got coming out of the federal government over the past, shall we say, 50 years, it's just going to be one more shiv in the kidney for everybody. And with that being said, YouTube, I'm going to enter into some traffic here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here. Thank you so much for watching my rant and ramble. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you down the road.